Hi guys, Camera here with Elon Blue Talks, where I help you to create stunning wigs through easy to follow steps, explore simple protective hairstyle options, and share tips on growing healthy, beautiful hair naturally. If you haven't already, go ahead and press that subscribe button to catch more videos just like this. All links in this video is going to be in the description box below. So jumping right into this video, I got an email from a company called Celebrity Hair for Less. I was asked to try out one of their wig caps. At first I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. I was like, sure, why not? I'll give it a try. For the most part, I really do like the caps that I already have. I was like, but you know what? What the heck? Let's do it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, no loss. So I accepted the invitation and asked her to go ahead and mail me one of her caps. I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what kind of wig cap it was going to be. But when I opened the package, I saw that it was a crochet cap mixed with a lace frontal. I was actually really shocked. I was like, okay, this is interesting. This is new. It definitely looks like something I'd be interested in. I saw a lot of potential in this cap because it had the stretch of a crochet cap, but it would allow the finish of a lace frontal. The tools we'll be using for this video is a pair of scissors, ventilating needle, a medium-sized crochet needle, a large crochet needle. Because I'm still trying to figure out the sizes of these crochet needles, I feel like every time I look at the sizes, it changes when I'm online or whatever. So for now, I'm just going to call it a medium and large. Now, I also use a small crochet needle as well in part 2 of this video. So there will be a difference there once we get to that portion. The hair I'm using for this video is Kinky Twist Braid by Femi, and the color is T1B/Auburn, which is pretty much the auburn color hair with a little bit of 1B in there mixed up. The texture is kind of coarse, kind of curly or wavy. It's very thick. I am going to be using a blow dryer during some of this process because the hair, especially at the end, it does get quite kinky. So it might be a little bit harder to manage if you don't blow it out. Plus, the wig can tend to be much bigger than you want it to be if you don't blow dry or blow it out just a little bit. That will be your preference, whether you want to blow it out or keep it as is. That is your choice. But in this process, I did blow dry or blow it out just a little bit. So before we start, what is ventilating? Ventilating, when it comes to hair, is a knotting technique that creates an even distribution of hair strands around a given area, giving the illusion of natural hair and scalp, which allows for more movement and flow. So that is what ventilating is in the world of hair. It's really cool to have both my skill sets be challenged by making a blend of crochet and ventilated hair. So I'm really excited. So to begin, go ahead and put the cap onto your head and chalk out where your hairline is and how it kind of like flows, because you kind of want to create you want to create as best you can your own natural hairline. Unless you're making it for someone else, then you can use like a generic kind of hairline. But for the most part, if it's for you, you kind of want your natural hairline, or you want your wig to look as natural as possible. So make it fit your natural hairline. With your mannequin head facing away from you, place the lace closure onto the head. Fold the hair in half. Hold the hair comfortably in your resting hand as you hold the ventilating needle in your operating hand. Start ventilating right where the center part begins. Grab only about 1 to 2 strands of hair at a time get in a habit of pulling the hair away from you. Again, I've said this in my previous video, you definitely want to get in the habit of pulling the needle away from you and not working it towards you. It does snag onto clothing and anything that it touches, really, because there's a needle on the needle, or like a hook on the needle, which helps to grab the hair, but it will also grab anything that it attaches to. So definitely be careful with that. To avoid tangles, grab a small amount of hair to work with at a time. The smaller the better, really. Even in this video, as I continue to ventilate, I also realized that the amount that I started off with was just a little bit too much, and it kind of tangled and I was wasting a lot more hair than I needed to. As the video goes on, I kind of picked up on the concept that less is more, because all of that hair, as you are separating it, is going to tangle if it's too much. Of course, remember to take your time with this. If you're new to ventilating, you will get better and faster as you practice. So don't worry if you're slow with this, it's okay. Just get through it. This is probably my third or fourth time ventilating, so I've definitely noticed a speed difference. I am much more comfortable with the needle than when I first started. So the process of getting better with ventilating is very, very quick and very fast. It's just repetition kind of thing. So just the act of doing it will make you so much better. I mentioned earlier in the video that I used a blow dryer as I continued on making this wig, because it made the process of making the wig itself much easier without all of the tangles. I did find that it was much easier to work with. It did lose a little bit of its texture, but it still looked really good. It looked like it almost looked like a blowout versus like a kinky look. You could also blend the two, where there's some parts of it that's kind of a little bit more blown out, and then other parts, maybe even in the front, is a little bit more kinky. So you can do a little blend of the two, but the wig overall did come out very nice. So yeah, I like the blow dry effect of it. Like I said, I have definitely gotten better in the short time that I've been practicing ventilating. It's definitely a repetition game. The more you do it, the better you get. So just keep on keeping on. As I've done in the previous videos, in the link down below, I'm gonna include other ventilating pages and ventilating YouTubers that are experts at this and have been doing this much longer than I have. I will definitely share those links with you so that if you are looking for a really great ventilating video, those videos can help you. You don't have to make it super full unless you want to. You can definitely space this out, allow it to be airy for a more natural look. It does help to create a more natural look if you space it out a bit, not too much, but just a bit. So don't worry too much, or don't feel like you need to go through every hole or every other hole. You can definitely be a little bit more sparse with this, because we are working on the part and the hairline. So the more airy it is, the more realistic it looks. So space it out, not too much though, but space it out, and don't feel like you need to make it super dense. One thing I would prefer with this wig cap is I wish the grid, or the crochet grid, went over that black band, if that makes any sense. There's black band in the front of the hairline as well as around the center part. If there was a grid there, then I could attach hairs on that black portion much more easily. But the fact that the grid stops right at that band is a little annoying. But that's something, that's definitely something I'll have to kind of look into just a little bit more. I did notice that on the inside that grid is there, but not on the outside where I'm working. For me personally, and how I make my wigs, I may have to make it inside out, but that's on a whole nother thing. So I'll have to look into that a little bit more. I would prefer the grid go over the band so that I have something to attach hair to, so that it covers that band, if that makes any sense. Because that band is made out of like an elastic fabric, which means I don't have a crochet needle that would be able to get through that very easily. But if it had a grid on top of it that went over it, then I can work on that grid, but it doesn't. So Now that I've completed that portion of the process, I'm now going to twist up that hair so that it's nice and neat and out of the way as I proceed to the next part. So I'm backing the camera up just a little bit because I want to show you the full view of the crocheting process. If you are not familiar with my crochet process, please do check out my old videos on that. One thing to keep in mind though, with my longer pieces of hair, I don't do the skipping over every other hole and every other row. I go through every hole. And the good thing about that particular process with this particular cap is that the holes of the net is much larger. So even though I'm going to have to go through every hole, it's not that many holes, so the process should be much faster. But yes, so with the large crochet needle, I'm going to be going through every hole on the crochet cap or the crochet portion of the cap, and then twisting each section. So I'm going up 4 and across 4 and twisting each section just to keep it out of the way and keep it nice and neat. Again, if you are not familiar with my crocheting process, I will have a link right here or right here. I never remember what side is on, but it's going to be somewhere over here where you can kind of see my crocheting technique. Now you see how much I have to like tug on the hair to kind of like separate it from its tangledness. When I blow dry it, it's not so rough, but with it being so kinky and so coarse, you really do have to like pull it apart, which kind of gets annoying. So blow drying, even if you just blow dry the ends, not so much the full length of the hair, that is helpful. But to leave it just as it is, you know, you just gonna have to put more work into it and like get some muscle strength. So again, I'm showing you that I am using the large crochet needle. Again, I do not know what size it is because I'm all confused with the crochet needle size. If somebody knows what size that needle is, please comment below, let your girl know. But as of right now, I'm just going to call it large because honestly, that's probably the largest crochet needle I've seen. So if you've seen something larger, let me know, but that's the largest I've seen. So I'm going to call it large. And the rest that I've worked with is medium and small. So I got my large, my medium and small. And maybe I need to like kind of show each one. So you know, when I'm talking about large, that's what I mean. When I'm talking about small, that's what I mean. But yeah, maybe I'll show that real quick while we're at it. Okay, so these are my crochet needles. Can you see those? These are my crochet needles. So we got large. Large is purple, and it looks like this. We got medium. Medium is pink, and it looks like this. And then we have small. Small is blue, and it looks like this. So we got large. We got large, medium, and small. Can you see that? Okay. So yeah, so these are my sizes. If you prefer not to blow dry, you can also just comb it, starting with the ends and working your way up. You're definitely, if you don't blow dry it, you're definitely gonna wanna comb it. And even if you do blow dry it, you're gonna wanna comb it first and then blow dry it. But yeah, you're gonna have to detangle that hair a little bit because it comes in like a cluster and like a clump. So in order to work with it, you're going to have to comb it out at least. So I'm going to continue to crochet all the way around the unit, 4 up, 4 across, and then twisting it. It's going to end up looking almost like a diamond shape. It's not really squared. And I don't know how I feel about the idea of the cap being like sectioned a little bit, because you have like the front section and then it kind of is stitched together, and then you have like the sides and it's stitched together. I kind of like it because it keeps me kind of organized, or keep my mind a little bit more organized, because I can be like, okay, I'm just going to do the front and I know exactly where that front stops, or I'm going to just complete the sides and I know exactly, or the middle, you get what I'm saying? So it does help with mental organization. I just wish that the grid went over that black band, and it really doesn't, because I want to put hair on top of that band, but the grid just kind of stops there. So I almost have to like create my own incision into it, and that's not fun, if that makes any sense. I've noticed that they're on the back side, there you can see that the grid does go over on the back side, and then they attach the band on top of it for the outside to kind of keep it clean, or to create a structure. But for my wigs, I know that I would prefer that grid to go over on the front side, so that I can work with it. Plus, it would actually look better once it's done, because the part that people would actually see would be the back side, would be the inside of it, which means now the inside is nice and clean, because the band creates like that neatness that they're trying to create on the front side, on the back side, which is the part that people will see anyways, because the top part will have hair in it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it makes sense in my mind. So yeah, so I'm going to continue this process all the way through the crochet cap and twist it 4 rows up, 4 rows across, going through every single hole, because the hair is kind of it's a little bit straighter than the curly one, as well as it's very long, so it just gives a much better illusion with this kind of texture and this kind of length. Initially, the differences I saw in the cap that I received was that the crochet cap portion of it was a little bit wider than my typical crochet wigs. So I didn't know if I was gonna like that as much. I did also notice that the material was a little bit more sturdy, so I do like that, meaning that it wouldn't stretch out so much and maybe like lose its elasticity. So that was kind of exciting. Maybe it would allow the wigs to last a lot longer. I also like that it was an adjustable cap, so even if for whatever reason the wig did stretch out, or if it was too big for someone's head, they could adjust it in the back, so that was great. So those are just a few differences I noticed offhand. Aside from the fact that there's a whole lace in the front, so that's clearly something different. So I'm excited to use this, and I went ahead and filmed the whole process so that I could share it with you guys. So the video is quite long, so I'm going to do the rest off camera, and I will return with part 2. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. See you in the next video, guys. Next video. See you guys. If you have any comments or questions for this portion of the video, please do write it down below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. And I'll see you in the next video.